What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, alright, we're coming back to The Warning. Yes, indeed, The Warning fans, feeling you. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all the clicks and the likes and the bibbidi-boobidi bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Matt Damasio, and it was also the winner of the Premier Tier Patreon Request Prioritization Poll, winning with 51% of the vote. Moving from number 686 in the queue, straight up to number 1. So yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, your voice, your vote does matter. They all want to see me react to this. It is The Warning with their rendition of the Muse song, Resistance. Now, have I heard the song before? This gets complicated. I think when Mrs. Heretic and I went to see Muse perform live, I think this was on the set list, and I think they did perform this live. But, like, just looking at the name Resistance, nothing pops into my head as far as a melody goes or a chordal progression goes, so I don't remember the song, if they even performed it live. I don't even remember if they did, but I think they did. I'm not 100% sure either way. So I don't know if I remember this song or not, or I may not have even heard it at all. But here's the thing, whether I've heard it or not, whether I remember it or not, I've never seen The Warning do it, and this is a cover, so this is so complicated. Whether I recognize the song or not, I'm not going to be evaluating this song based on the original at all. I am only going to be evaluating what The Warning does with this song. So, how good does it sound? Does it sound good? If I do recognize the song, how close is it to the original? Is it a carbon copy cover, or did they take it in their own direction? Of course, if I have never heard the song before, or if I don't recognize it, then that's really kind of a non-factor. I have no idea where this is gonna go. I'm gonna be honest with you folks. I don't know. I'm not sure. We're gonna have to just play this by ear and wait and see what happens. Let's see, this was posted by The Warning, okay? And the video has 1.5 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Resistance, Muse cover, The Warning. It looked, wow, they are young here. Oh boy. Okay, and looks like we're coming to you from the Warning Cave. Cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
first things first, I don't recognize the song. I don't recognize it. So if they did play this at the show, I don't remember it. I know I haven't done a reaction to it. So yeah, I don't recognize the song at all. I think it's in the queue. The Muse version. I think it's in the queue. This sounds like a Muse song. It does. So they must be doing at least a decent job of covering it. I don't know if I don't know how accurate they're being, but between the piano usage, the bass line, the drumming in particular, and the vocals, it sounds like a Muse song. It does. So gotta give the girls credit for emulating Muse. It sounds accurate. It does. I get it. They're young at this stage. I understand. And I know that they don't have the experience here that they have now, okay? And I know there's that progression of growth. But I'm also going to call a spade a spade. And I didn't do that during my Katy Perry reaction, when they did that Katy Perry song. And I'll be honest with you, folks, part of me is kicking myself to this day for taking that safe route. I'm not going to do that here. I am going to call a spade a spade. And if I hear something that I didn't like, I'm going to point it out. I understand they're young. I understand they don't have a whole lot of experience here. But the only way you're going to get better is if you see the problems, okay? And I'm going to say this last thing. If anybody has a right to be upset with what I say or with my criticisms, it's the band. They're the only ones that have the right to be upset with me with my criticisms. They're it. And so far, to this day, I haven't heard a peep from them. So they clearly, A, don't care, B, haven't listened or haven't watched, or C, quite possibly, they have watched, they have listened, and they agree with me. If they got a problem with me, they can come to me.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
My door's wide open. My email is wide open. My messaging systems on Instagram and Twitter are wide open. And if they want to come after me and say, hey, we got an issue with you, then let them. By all means, please do. I will be more than happy to entertain them and listen to them. Okay? But they're the only ones who have a right to be upset and have it be legitimate. Okay? Fans of the Warning Army, I love you guys, I do, but you don't need to come to their rescue. You don't. They're big girls now. They can, believe me, they can stand up and fight their own fights. They don't need you guys to have the full-blown white knight syndrome that some, not all, but some overly protective fans have. Okay? I'm not saying everybody in the Warning Army has it. I'm just saying there are a few overzealous fans who suffer from extreme white knight syndrome who feel the need to come to the girls' defense with their lives. Guys, they don't need it. Trust me, they can fight their own battles. Okay? Having said that, I am hearing some pitch issues in the vocals, in the harmonies in particular. So I don't know who's flat. I'm not sure which one it is. It might be Ale, it might be Pow. I'm not 100% sure. One of them is a little bit flat, okay? But that's really the only problem I'm hearing. The bass playing is nice. Everything is on point as far as attacks go. I don't hear any dragging. I don't hear any rushing in the bass playing. Nice movement within the bass playing. She sounds really good. The drumming, solid. Again, no rushing, no dragging. All the rhythmic placements seem to be right on point. No problem with the drumming. Keyboard playing sounds nice, very much in that Muse style. I don't know if it's accurate or not compared to what Muse does, but it sounds good. And the guitar playing, same thing, sounds good. Got no issue with the guitar playing at all. When she switches between the piano and the guitar, smooth, not janky, not sudden, sounds really nice. The only complaint I had, like I said, is in the vocal harmonies. Somebody's a little flat. That's it. That's it. Now watch how many people are going to come after me and attack me, you know, for criticizing these poor defenseless girls. Get over it. Get over it, seriously. Anyway, let's keep going here. That's Phil. Phil, that was smooth. That was smooth right there from Pal. Phil, and right from the very last note of the fill going into the groove. That was nice. No rest, no break, just smooth as glass. That was really nice. I want to hear that again, actually. There sounded really good. The fortified octave. Meow. That was cute. Yeah. I mean, it's good. It's good. It's actually. I don't know how close it was. Here's the problem. I want to say it's really good. I want to, but I don't know how accurate it was to the original. I will say, it sounds like a Muse style song. Doesn't sound like Muse. Let's be honest. You know, she doesn't sound anything like Matt. She doesn't. The voices are totally different. But from a songwriting style and from a playing style, it sounds like what Muse would do. So I guess it's accurate. This is a weird one. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was The Warning with their cover of the Muse song Resistance. This was a request from Matt Damasio, and it was also the winner of the Premier Tier Patreon Request Prioritization Poll, winning with 51% of the vote. Moving from number 686 in the queue straight up to number 1. So yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, your voice, your vote does matter. Okay, I have a score here, but I need to preface the score with something. I did not recognize the song. I don't think I've heard this song, and if I have heard it, the only place I've heard it was at the Muse show. But even if they did play it, I don't remember it. So this is a tough one. Because it is a cover. So I have a score. But the score comes with a condition, and the condition is this. I am going to treat this, understanding that it is a Muse song. I'm going to be basing it off of what I heard the girls play, heard the girls sing, comparatively to the style of song that Muse would do. How accurate this sounds like to a Muse song, a general Muse song. This is a tough one. It did sound like a Muse song. It did. What they were playing sounded like something that Muse would play. From a chordal progression standpoint, from a notational standpoint, from a rhythmic standpoint, from a feel standpoint, from a vocal approach standpoint, yes. It, like, if I didn't know that this was a Muse song, hearing them play this after about the first minute, I would have said, man, this sounds like a Muse song. That's how I'm equating it, okay? So I do have a score here, and let's, keeping all of that in mind, let's get to the score. On a scale of 1 to 10, I am going to give that a 7.4. Yep, 7.4. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, it did sound like a song that Muse would play. It did. I don't know how accurate this cover was to the original, because like I said, I don't remember the original. If they even played it live, I may never have even heard the song before. It didn't resonate with me, so if they did play it, I don't remember it. But there were a lot of things that they were doing, especially within the instrumentation, that leads me to believe that this was a Muse song. First of all, the transitioning between the keyboard and the guitar. Yeah, that's a very Matt Bellamy thing to do, without question. The drumming. Yeah. Off the 16th note pattern on the hi-hat to the snare. Yep, it fit. It's definitely Muse style. And what Pow did there sounded good. It sounded solid. I got no issue with anything that was happening within the drums. I particularly liked that there was that one fill that I had to go back and hear. That one fill that she pulled off that transitioned perfectly into the groove. And I don't use that word lightly, but it did transition perfectly from the fill right into the groove. No hesitation, no delay, no shifting from one drum to the next. No, it went right from the fill into the groove, absolutely seamlessly. And that was nice. I had to go back and listen to that. If for no other reason, I had to make sure that I heard what I heard. And yeah, I heard it all right. The bass playing, very nice job. Very nice job. I was listening to her 16th notes and they were right on the meter. Absolutely. I never heard her get off tempo. I never heard her rhythmic delivery ever come off. It was never rushed. It never dragged. It was right on point every single time. The bass pattern, I don't know how accurate what she was playing was to the original. The root to the 4/5 octave. I don't know how accurate that is. It sounds like something Muse would do. It does. It does sound like something that he would do. So I can only assume that what she played was accurate to the song. Number one, because it does sound like something that Muse would do. Number two, she did it over and over and over again. Every single time the exact same way. So I can only assume that that is how Muse played it. And she took it and ran with it. Maybe I'm wrong. I know I'm making an assumption here, but it sounds accurate. Vocally. Okay. What Danny was singing sounded Muse-ish. It sounded like something that Matt would sing. Not necessarily with his voice, obviously. I mean, there's no way she's going to make her voice sound like Matt. That's just impossible. But from a notation standpoint, it sounded accurate. It sounded like something that Muse would do. A lot of going over the top and then resolve to the 3, you know, stuff like that. Over to the 4, down to the 3, down to the root again. You know, but really hanging on those major thirds and fifths. You know, it's very typical of Matt's style of singing. Sustaining a note while chordally the instruments are shifting to the minor, but he's staying on like the 5th. So you'll go from a major to a minor with him on the 5th the whole time with the note. She did the same thing, and it sounded very much like Matt's style of singing. Not his tone, his style, his approach, his vocal approach. The harmonies, for the most part, the harmonies sounded really good. There were those harmonies at the beginning, and I pointed this out, and I know there's gonna be, not everybody, but I know there's gonna be a few, you know, just cutthroat, diehard, you know, Warning Army fans who are suffering from extreme white knight syndrome, who feel the need to come to the defense of these poor, helpless girls. Guys, save it. Seriously, save it. You're not impressing me. You're really not. If the girls have an issue with anything I have to say, like I've always said, my door is wide open, and they are more than welcome to come to me, okay? They do not need your help. They do not need you coming to their defense. They're grown-ass women. Let them fight their own battles. And I understand that these girls were younger then. I do. But how do you think you're going to get better? By coddling them or by being straight with them and saying, hey, listen, you're out of tune there, you know? Let's see what we can do to fix that up. They were out of tune on a couple of those harmonies. I'm not going to pull punches. I'm not going to lie to you guys. They were, okay? You can go back and you can listen. You can hear it for yourself. But for the most part, like I would say about 80% of the harmonies, they nailed them. They nailed them. And that's great. At this age, that's great. You know, for them to be able to nail 80%, that's fantastic. And I applaud them for hitting that 80%. Now let's see what we can do to take it from 80% to 90%. And then let's see what we can do to take it from 90% to 100%. Because that's the goal, right? That should be the goal. You know, this mentality of mediocrity is okay. No, it's not. No, it's not. Not if you want to be the best. I'm sorry, but mediocrity just doesn't sit well with me. Yeah, I mean, I have no issue with this at all. I think they did a really good song. And like I said, I don't know how accurate it is to the original. I'm giving them the 7.4 based on, and I understand I'm doing this, and I fully acknowledge I'm doing this. I'm giving them that 7.4 based on a lot of assumption. I'm assuming that they played the song correctly. I'm assuming that what they played sounds like how Muse played it, because I don't remember the original song. And I don't even know if I've even heard the original song. So, but it did sound like a Muse song. So that's why I'm giving them the really good score of 7.4. And in closing, guys, Warning Army, I love you guys. I do. You've been very supportive of the channel, and for the most part, 95% of the army, of the Warning Army, they're super cool. I've met a lot of you at shows, getting the chance to take pictures with you guys, shake hands with you guys, talk about the Warning, talk about your experiences with the Warning, and I appreciate you guys. I really do. Like any other fan base, though, there are those few bad apples, and those are the ones that I really don't like dealing with, the ones who feel the need and feel compelled to come and fight the Warning's battles for them. They don't need it. I promise you, they really don't need it. They're grown-ass women. They can take care of themselves and fight their own battles. I promise you. And if they ever do have a gripe with me, they can come to me. We can talk it out. We can hash it out. We can discuss it. Hell, I might even make a live stream out of it. I think that'd be pretty cool. It'd be fun, you know? But the only ones who really have any right to be upset with my critiques of them and their abilities and their playing and their singing is them. They're it. You know? They and like I said, they can come to me anytime they want. But I haven't heard from them so far. So that, like I said, that means one of three things. They've never seen the channel. They don't listen to anything I say. Perfectly fine. Got no problem with that. They don't care. They have heard what I say, and they just honestly don't hold any value in anything I say, and they dismiss me. That's fine too. Perfectly fine. They have the right to do that. Number 3, maybe they heard me, maybe they listen to what I say, and maybe, quite possibly, they agree with me. And they say, you know what? Yeah, that was pretty bad right there. Those harmonies were out of tune. You know, maybe they agree with me and they don't feel the need to respond. Okay, that's perfectly fine too. Point being, I haven't heard from them, so I'm gonna keep doing what I do. I'm gonna keep saying what I say. I'm gonna keep being me, and that's really all there is to it. And if there are any white knights out there who have an issue with that, there's the door. Feel free to see yourself out. Anyway, 7.4, it's a really good score, and I feel good with that score, and that's where we're going to stay. So, 7.4, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully, I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.